Hi everybody, a big shout out from Australia. We're moving into spring and you're not. Oh, so we've got spring finally arrived, time to throw another shrimp on the barbie and all that. So finally I can get rid of a few coats and scarves and hats. Okay, now because we're in an accelerated time continuum, I'm going to do weeks 2 and 3 for Trump together, and we'll see what is turning up for him before I go away and meet up with Dave Johnson. Okay, so here we go. What's going to happen for this craven fascist fuckwit in weeks 2 and 3 of September? I've chosen to use the Thoth deck, which is spelt T-H-O-T-H for those who want to look it up on the net. So the Thoth deck has come out, works so well for Trump. Okay, well, week 1 of September had to be extraordinary for him too, living inside that little rat-infested cranium. He must have been freaked out. So let's see what is happening weeks 2 and 3 of September. Oh, I'm dying to know. All right, come on down. Here we are. Week 2, first of all, I'm going to do a bit of extra shuffling, specifically on the weeks. Week 2 for Trump. Week 2. And we're off. Oh! 8 of Swords. You couldn't say it's fun. Oh, here she is. Look. All right. This is a megalomaniac spread. Okay, but it's not a happy megalomaniac. It's only fun ruling the world when you get all the things you want to do and all the things you want to play with and get to have sex with all the people you want to have sex with. He's peaked and coming down the other side. Okay. Now, he gets here, the 8 of Swords, interference, anxiety, not sleeping, tension. You get the picture. Right? But the key word in Thoth is interference. So in other words, the world is interfering in this megalomaniac landscape. About time. About time. Where has the GOP been? Okay, the universe, which is the world card in other decks, several meanings. Obviously, the entire world is watching this saga play out in America, partly because we're all used to looking at America as the biggest global identity, but also the world card often indicates the end of a cycle. So in this case, I think it's both those things. The world is watching, sometimes with a degree of fear and anxiety, other times with a bit of schadenfreude, or however it's pronounced when you get pleasure from other people's pain. It's a mix of those things. But in terms of Trump, although he has not travelled widely, this is a man who eats his own food and stays at his own, ridiculously tasteless resorts all over the world. He has no idea, in fact, how the world works, nor has he got any interest in that. So, the world is nonetheless watching him. The Princess of Discs, Thoth does the Cruella cards, if you like enormously powerful women, really well. This is the Princess of Pentacles. This is about money. This is a woman who holds the key in some way to the Trump wealth. Now, it's a princess, and not all decks have princesses. It could be Princess Ivanka, and in order to preserve her own wealth and what shred is left of her personal integrity or reputation. I'm having a feeling it might be Ivanka. It's not an older woman, it's not her mother, and it's not, I don't think, Barbara Underwood, and I don't think it's Rebecca Mercer. So working via elimination, for now I'm going to say this is Ivanka, who has got some spiky things to say about her father. All right. Then next, we have the Four of Discs or the Four of Pentacles. This is the card of power. So this is next to the Ten of Cups, that hard to pronounce satiety, or too much money and too much of everything. And this is the power that is going to check that. We're talking week 2. So the power checking money, to me that smacks of RICO, the racketeering laws. I think the legals have been quite quiet on that, not behind the scenes, quite quiet on that in terms of what's out in the public domain. But we've got the next stage of Manafort coming forward. And surprise, surprise, he's now on his knees begging for a plea deal. There is nothing Manafort wouldn't give for some sort of plea deal. Left it too late. He can kiss the pardon goodbye because he's talking to the enemy. And he's just trying to minimise jail time. So that brings it closer to the Trump campaign. But these two cards for me are speaking of what I hope will be new material about actual racketeering. So this could be Trump real estate deals in New York, money laundering, money and power. This smacks of Russia. It even has quite a Soviet look about it. So I'm going to stick my neck out and say Russian money being laundered through the speed cycle of Trump Tower. Interesting, is it not, viewers? All right, bring on the RICO laws is what I say. So that takes us halfway through September, and already, you know, he's in such profound crap that it can't be conceived of. While I'm shuffling these, viewers, let's just talk about the Kavanaugh stuff going on. Look, someone's sitting on a lot. You've got, is it Cory Booker, who's been releasing the email train about, and other documents, lots and lots of documents about his former position on things. He is not performing that well, I think, for someone who wants to be a High Court judge. He's not handling the key issues, like does he think a sitting president can be indicted and all those things. Now, you don't expect him to have pat answers to that. You expect him to say, well, you know, a panel of esteemed judges would have to make that decision or something. But he's not saying that. He's just saying really stupidly, I think, oh, well, you know, that's not my field. I haven't looked at that. I haven't written a book on that. Excuse me? What? That wasn't the question. So, regardless of what you think the Democrats are doing in terms of trying to shut this nomination down, they're at least asking pointy questions. So there's every chance, given that he is a right-wing Christian Republican, that he's as bent as most of the rest of them. And I just hope there's some investigative journalism going on out there that's going to find the muck, because even if he is appointed, he could come undone. You know. All right, we're going into week three for Trump. All right. What does he get? Oh, bless. He's such a virtuous person. Oh. And yes, all right. So, we've got the Three of Wands, commerce and trade over the water, and successful international deals. I just said it before, I have a feeling, Russian money. Okay, week 3 will be a spotlight on his international dealings. 8 of Discs, 8 of Pentacles, the Apprentice card always brings a smirk to my jaundiced lips. But we must remember, viewers, in terms of interpreting tarot in a conventional way, it's about attention to detail. That's not the Donald, so it has to be other people looking at his various enterprises and processes. And it's so easy to forget what's going on because so many other things topple everything on a daily basis. I think this comes back to Weisselberg, the Chief Financial Officer of Trump Organization. What an illustrious role. Now, he's tried to limit his exposure in terms of talking to officialdom. He can only limit it so far. I think this is details that come out via Alan Weisselberg. Then, back to Trump week 3. A crossroads, a decision. How to go about looking at reconciling two, in this case, unsavory options. Swords clashing, if you like. So I think this is possibly legal stuff. Trump's legal team, I don't know how they even call themselves, legal team. They're carnival salesmen who have been bought for this actual gig. I refuse to even call them a legal team anymore. And apparently Giuliani and the others, even Giuliani, who's completely out to lunch in every way, they tried to have an intervention a couple of days ago at the White House, pull him in and go, look, things are not looking marvellous, Donald. In fact, things are looking totally batshit crazy. You are really headed for the guillotine in a blindfold with your hands tied behind your back. You need to take better legal advice. He refused to take the meeting. I think this is Trump's legal team. I know I wouldn't say it, but it's easier sometimes. His clowns versus the Mueller investigation. Justice, the sword of justice, look out. What can we expect from Trump in week 3? By the end of week 3, the Hermit. The Hermit. Shining a light on where he's been, not where he's going, you'll notice. Where he's been. He is so shell-shocked now. If you project forward 2 weeks, it doesn't matter how many rallies he has saying to everyone, you know, I'm marvellous, clap for me now, here's the cue. Okay, it's not going to work anymore. I'm beginning to think it's not actually totally convincing to the base. I'd like to think. Well, I think you can expect to see him in retreat. Now, there has been talk about the 25th Amendment, which is president unfit to govern. Remember when he first came in 2017, everyone was looking at impeachment and the 25th Amendment and every possible way to get rid of this man. And I think the Democrats were very wise to back off from those demands then. It's got to the stage within the Republican Party that certain people are talking about it. Is it a possibility? Let's ask. Not 100% convinced myself it's the way to go, but look, it is being talked about. They've got to do something before these tariffs kick in full time. Speaking of tariffs, viewers, I threw out the general question of why Trump hates Canada, which of course is why he hates Trudeau, and of course, once again, the obvious answer is Trudeau's smart and handsome and intelligent in a different way than a lot of politicians are. He's got an emotional intelligence. Not perfect, I'm sure, at close range, but, you know, he's got a lot going on. But one particular viewer pointed out, and if this could be confirmed, I'd appreciate it, that Trudeau gave him a framed picture of Trump's grandfather's hotel, father or grandfather's hotel, that wasn't doing well and was turned into a brothel. Is this true? Is there anything in this rumour? I love that. Okay, 25th Amendment. Oh, we won't count that. That was a few cards and me shuffling badly. The Republicans, will they bring forth the 25th Amendment? 25th Amendment. Okay. Now there he is, the Pharaoh complex. Oh, poor old trumpet. Now, in the Rider-Waite deck that I usually use, Trump always appears as the Emperor. In the Thoth deck, he always turns up as the Eon or the Pharaoh. He would love to have been a pharaoh in ancient Egypt and had tens of thousands of slaves do his bidding. He really sees himself as worthy of the mantle. So there he is. Now, we're talking about the 25th Amendment. He gets, basically, this is an overflow of emotion. So whether it's Trump's emotion or GOP anxiety, because anxiety is an emotion. If there's any psych students out there, you might say that's not correct. But in lay terms, anxiety is at least a state of being. Queen of Cups. So that is, it's hard to think of Trump having a feminine side, but given that we all have a more masculine and more feminine attributes in various distributions, this is his feminine side that's falling apart. He then flips into macho knuckle dragger to present to the outside world, but inside he's really awash with these emotions. He gets the Three of Cups. That is also an emotional card. It can be a card of celebration, but that is so not the case when you're talking about something like carting off the president because of the 25th Amendment, and also why I don't think it's celebration. Could be relief if he was, but defeat. His outcome card. Now, is it defeat of Trump, the Pharaoh, by the 25th Amendment, or is it a defeat of the push for the 25th Amendment? We need a clarifier. So let me do that. 25th Amendment. Will they bring it on? The Eight of Cups in this deck called Indolence I don't think they'll bring it forward. They're thinking about it. There could be 8 Republicans talking about it. To me, I'd take that interpretation as no, they won't. However, what the conversation means, the fact they're even talking about it behind closed doors, means they might come up with another strategy, which is getting Mitch McConnell and others to say, we are talking about the 25th Amendment. The Democrats are going to get in December and want to impeach. Pack your overnight bag, leave the paintings. There's a car waiting for you. They might twist his arm to resign. Probably after the midterm debacle, but that'd be my vote. They won't technically go down the 25th Amendment route, but the discussion is not good for Trump. I love you guys. Keep the comments rolling in, and I'll see you soon.